Hello everyone, welcome to Educate 247 and we bring you the best 50 current affairs MCQs from 1st June to 7th June. So before we begin, Educate 247 brings you SEBI Grade A 2020 crash course with the coupon code of now we are offering around 1500 rupees off on the complete course which has crisp and concise content with around 5000 plus MCQs. So you can log on to the website to avail the benefits of the course. Now moving to the questions. Question number one. Which bank has launched a mobile app based facility to open current accounts for self-employed individuals and businesses digitally within a few hours? And the options are A. Axis Bank, B. IndusInd, C. ICICI, D. HDFC, and E. SBI. And the correct answer is B, that is IndusInd Bank. Gurgaon based IndusInd Bank recently announced that it has launched a first of its kind assisted mobile application based facility. It will enable the bank to open current accounts for self employed individuals and businesses, and that will happen in a few hours. The facility works in a way where the bank officials can now capture and verify information about customers and their businesses in real time using the Indus Corporate mobile app. It happens at the premise of the customer, which is in a convenient and secure manner. The objective of the bank is to make the account opening experience faster and seamless for the customer while removing the hassle free arrangement of ensuring that the physical KYC of documents is done and and this makes the KYC documentation process paperless, reducing the usage of paper. Moving to the next question. The government has launched an electronics manufacturing scheme 2.0 with an outlay of dash 1000 crore to promote production not just for the domestic market but also for exports. And the options are A 65,000 crore, B 50,000 crore, C 70,000 crore, D 45,000 crore, and E 55,000 crore. And the correct answer is B, that is 50,000 crore. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology launched the Electronics Manufacturing Scheme 2.0, which includes around 3 sub schemes and has a combined outlay of 50,000 crores with the aim to promote production not just for the domestic market but also for exports. The three sub schemes actually include Production Linked Incentive Scheme PLI for large scale electronics manufacturing, Scheme for Promotion of Manufacturing of Electronic Components and Semiconductors, which stand for specs and Modified Electronics Manufacturing Clusters EMC 2.0 scheme. The government has invited applications from companies who are looking to invest in India under these schemes as it plans to initially get the top 5 global manufacturing companies and promote 5 domestic companies on a national scale. Moving on to the next question. The Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that is the DPIIT, has revised the public procurement order to encourage Make in India initiative. It has prescribed a minimum of dash percentage in the year 2020 and 21 for local chemicals and petrochemical contents in public procurement. And the options are A 35%, B 55%, C 60%, D 30%, and E 60, you can consider it 65%. Sorry, E 60%. So the correct answer is E 60%. The Department of Promotion and of Industry and Internal Trade, that is the DPIIT, has recently revised the public procurement order to encourage Make in India initiative with an aim to enhance income and employment generation in the country. The Minister of State for Shipping, Chemicals and Fertilizers, Mansukh Manwadia, stated that the mandatory public procurement of chemicals and petrochemicals to boost manufacturing and production of goods and services will promote Make in India. He stated that this step will strengthen the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and it has been prescribed a minimum of 60% in the year 2020 and 21 for the local chemical and petrochemical contents in public procurement, which will be revised. Moving on to the next question. Which bank has created a separate business vertical for financial inclusion and micro markets in semi-urban and rural areas? And the options are A. HDFC, B. Bandhan, C. SBI, D. ICICI, and E. UCO Bank. So the correct answer is C. That is the State Bank of India. In a major restructuring exercise, the State Bank of India has created a separate business vertical to focus on financial inclusion and micro markets in the semi-urban and rural areas. Under the financial inclusion and micro markets, the bank will offer loans which focuses on agriculture and allied activities and includes the micro and small enterprises to vastly improve customer experience for citizens in the hinterland. There are about 8,000 branches in rural and semi-urban areas which have been identified by the bank for providing specialized services to the micro segment, which includes microcredit for small businesses and farmers under the new verticals. The thrust will be on improving service quality and availability of banking services through over 63,000 customer service points in rural, semi-urban, urban, and metropolitan areas. At the national level, the vertical will be headed by a deputy managing director. Moving on to the next question. Name the government scheme launched by the central government to provide for jobs to returning Indians from abroad. And the options are A. Swadesh, B. Swades, C. Saksham, D. Sakshar, Sakshar, and E. Sukun. And the correct answer is B. That is Swades. The government has launched a new initiative called Swades, that is Skilled Workers Arrival Database for Employment Support, to conduct a skill mapping exercise and provide for employment opportunities to the returning citizens under the Vande Bharat mission. This is a joint initiative of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and the Ministry of External Affairs, which hope to create a database of qualified citizens based on the skill sets and experience to tap into and fulfill demand of Indian and foreign companies. The collected information will be shared with the companies for suitable placement opportunities in the country. The returning citizens are therefore required to fill up an online Swadesh skill card at a website of National Skill Development Corporation. The card will facilitate a strategic framework to provide the returning citizens with suitable employment opportunities via discussions with key stakeholders, which include the state governments, industry associations, and employers. Moving on to the next question. The free internet project of which of the following state is all set to be commissioned in the month of December? And the options are A. Uttar Pradesh, B. Karnataka, C. Kerala, D. Punjab, and E. Haryana. And the correct answer is C. Kerala. The Kerala government has recently announced that its ambitious Kerala fiber optic network which is envisaged to provide free internet access to the poor will be rolled out by December this year. Kerala will become the first state to declare internet as a fundamental right of the citizen. A project was launched to provide quality internet that is free of cost to the poor and affordable rates to others, and no other state in India has implemented such a scheme. The consortium comprises public sector companies such as the Bharat Electronic Limited and Railtel, as well as private companies such as SRIT and LS Cables. Moving on to the next question. The central government has announced a dash thousand crore interest subvention for small businesses as well as cottage industries under the Mudra Shishu loan. And the options are A. 1400 crore, B. 1500 crore, C. 1200 crore, D. 1000 crore, or E. 1800 crore. And the correct answer is B. That is 1500 crore. The central government has taken several steps so that the shopkeepers do not suffer due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The government has asked shopkeepers not to worry about restarting shops and handcarts as Unlock 1.0 begins. The government has pledged to make an Atmanirbhar Bharat, and it is providing a 1500 crore interest subvention for small businesses and cottage industries under the Mudra Shishu loan. Under this scheme, 1 lakh beneficiaries can avail interest benefit of 2% for a year. Moving on to the next question. Name the video blogging contest launched by Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi in Man Ki Baat recently. And the options are A. Perform Yoga, B. Shanti Yoga, C. Yoga Life, D. Yoga Rahasya, and E. Jivan Yoga. And the correct answer is E. Jivan Yoga. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called upon one and all to participate in the My Life, My Yoga, which is also called as Jivan Yoga video blogging contest, which is a joint effort by the Ministry of Ayush and the Indian Council for Cultural Relations during the course of his monthly Man Ki Baat address to the nation. The contest focuses on the transformative impact of yoga on the lives of individuals and comes as one of the activities related to the observation of the 6th International Day of Yoga, which is coming up on the 21st of June 2020. The contest has gone live on the social media handles of the Ministry of Ayush. Moving on to the next question. Who is the head of the reconstituted Advisory Committee on Service Providers to provide professional support on regulation and development of service providers dealt by the IBBI? And the options are A. Nalin Kumar Sharma, B. Krishna Pillai, C. Anand Singh, D. Sukesh Singh, and E. Mohandas Pai. And the correct answer is E. Mohandas Pai. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, which stands for the IBBI, has reconstituted its advisory committee on service providers, and it would now be chaired by Manipal Global Education Services Chairman TV Mohandas Pai. The 12-member panel would advise and provide professional support on regulation and development of the service providers dealt by it according to an order. Bharti Infratel Chairman Akhil Gupta, Raksha Shakti University Director General Bimal N. Patel, CSB Bank MD and CEO Chinna Virappan Rajendran, former CBI ED J. Ranganayaklu are among the members. IIMC Calcutta Board of Governors Chairman Sri Krishna Kulkarni, as well as there are several others which are representative from the Corporate Affairs Ministry are also a part of the panel. Moving on to the next question. The Institute of Small Enterprises and Development, that is the ISED, has rolled out a unique platform for extending advisory services to COVID-19 affected MSMEs in which of the following state? And the options are A. Arunachal Pradesh, B. Uttar Pradesh, C. Karnataka, D. Kerala, and E. Haryana. And the correct answer is D. Kerala. The Institute of Small Enterprises and Development has rolled out a unique platform for extending advisory services to COVID-19 affected MSMEs in Kerala. The initiative is aimed at offering free guidance to entrepreneurs to make self-evaluation for improving their performance. The ISED Center for Financial Education and Research is a division of the ISED and has opened a dedicated window to address issues related to the MSMEs with a specific focus on COVID-19. The ISED Finance Clinic for Small Enterprises will serve the interest of the MSMEs, the entrepreneurial aspirants such as returned migrants, startups, educated unemployed, and women entrepreneurs. Moving on to the next question. Who among the following has taken charge as the Deputy Managing Director of the Exim Bank? And the options are A. Sunanda Mishra, B. Harsha Bangari, C. Sukriti Kumari, D. Nalin Sharma, and E. Nalin Mehta. And the correct answer is B. Harsha Bangari. Harsha Bangari took charge as the Deputy Managing Director at the Export and Import Bank of India. Prior to this, she was the Chief General Manager and Chief Financial Officer of the bank. She joined the bank in 1995. The bank was floated by the government in 1982 as a specialized import credit agency for India to finance, facilitate, and promote India's international trade. Moving on to the next question. Which state aims to provide tap connection to all rural households by December 2022? And the options are A. Kerala, B. Meghalaya, C. Tamil Nadu, D. Uttar Pradesh, and E. Haryana. And the correct answer is B. Meghalaya. The Jal Jeevan Mission, launched by the central government last year, aims to provide functional household tap connection to every rural household by 2024. Meghalaya presented the annual action plan to achieve 100% household tap connections to National Jal Jeevan Mission, Ministry of Shakti, for approval. Meghalaya has proposed 100% tap connections to all households by December 2022. Out of the 5.89 lakh total rural households, the state is planning to provide 1.80 lakh tap connections in the year 2020 and 21. It was appreciatively noted that Meghalaya is planning to cover around 1096 villages with 100% tap connection in the year 2020 and 21. Moving on to the next question. Name the scheme launched by Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi to provide affordable loans to street vendors amidst the COVID-19 crisis. And the options are A. PM Swarozgar Yojana, B. PM Swanidhi, C. PM Atmanirbhar Yojana, D. PM Street Vendor Yojana, and E. PM Nidhi Yojana. And the correct answer is B. PM Swanidhi. The Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, decided to launch a special microcredit facility scheme called PM Swanidhi for providing affordable loans to the street vendors. The scheme is expected to go a long way in enabling street vendors to resume work and earn livelihoods in the wake of COVID-19 crisis. The special microcredit facility PM Swanidhi, PM Street Vendors, Atmanirbhar Nidhi has been launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs to provide affordable loans to street vendors. Moving on to the next question. Name the e-learning platform launched by the Sports Authority of India to provide an online coaching program at the grassroots level. And the options are A. Sports India Online, B. Khelo India Online, C. Khelo India e-Pathshala, D. Khelo India Games, and E. Go Khelo India. And the correct answer is C. That is Khelo India e-Pathshala. The Sports Authority of India is all set to launch the Khelo India e-Pathshala in association with the National Sports Federation, which aims to provide first ever national level of open online coaching and education program at the grassroots level. The e-learning program will feature eminent athletes which will demonstrate their technical skills and interact with young athletes about the techniques to improve their overall game. Moving on to the next question. Who is the head of the committee to resolve any problems in the implementation of the MSME scheme? And the options are A. Amit Shah, B. Nirmala Sitharaman, C. Rajnath Singh, D. Nitin Gadkari, and E. Narendra Modi. And the correct answer is C. That is Rajnath Singh. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appointed a committee headed by Rajnath Singh to resolve any problem in the implementation of the rupees 3 lakh crore collateral free loan scheme for the MSMEs, which was stated by the MSME Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari in an online interaction with the members of the Pune-based Maharashtra Chambers of Commerce, Industries and Agriculture. Gadkari asked small businesses to email him directly in case of any problems faced by them in securing credit under the scheme. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also earlier this month mentioned that the collateral fee schemes for the MSMEs are a part of the overall 20 lakh crore COVID-19 relief package to uplift the economy. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following company has launched a program for agritech startups to scale growth and offer access to deep technology? And the options are A. Dell, B. Microsoft, C. IBM, D. Google, and E. Apple. And the correct answer is B. Microsoft. Microsoft has announced the launch of a program for agritech startups in India that are committed to driving transformation in agriculture. The Microsoft for Agriculture Startups program is designed to help startups build industry-specific solutions, scale and grow with access to deep technology, businesses and marketing resources. This program offers the best-in-class tech and business enablement resources to help the startups innovate as well as scale faster. Startups can also get access to Azure Farm Beats, which can help them to focus on core value adds instead of undifferentiated heavy lifting of data engineering. It is available on the Azure Marketplace. Azure Farm Beats enables the aggregation of agriculture datasets across providers and generation of actionable insights by building a AI or a machine learning based model on fused datasets. Moving on to the next question. Power Minister R.K. Singh has formally launched a real-time power market on which of the following exchange? And the options are A. Indian Energy Exchange, B. OTC Exchange of India, C. Interconnected Stock Exchange, D. India International Stock Exchange, or E. United Stock Exchange. And the correct answer is E. That is the United Stock Exchange. Power Minister R.K. Singh formally launched a pan-India based real-time market in electricity to allow customers to buy power just 1 hour before the delivery. A real-time market enables consumers, including discoms and captive users, to buy power on exchanges just an hour before delivery. The real-time market went live at Indian Energy Exchange and Power Exchange India Limited at 10:45 p.m. on May 31st, 2020 for delivery at 12 a.m. on 1st June at midnight. The minister stated that the real-time platform is an organized market platform to enable the buyers and sellers in the whole of India to meet the energy requirements closer to real time of operation. Moving on to the next question. The RBI has approved the extension of Subramanian Sundar, who is the MD and CEO of Dash Bank. And the options are A. The State Bank of India, B. Lakshmi Vilas Bank, C. ESAF Small Finance Bank, D. Capital Local Bank, or E. HDFC. And the correct answer is B. That is the Lakshmi Vilas Bank. The Reserve Bank of India has approved the extension of tenure for the Lakshmi Vilas Bank's MD and CEO Subramanian Sundar by another 6 months. This is the second extension which has been given to Sundar, and his tenure was further extended to May 31st. The board extended his tenure now till November 30 or till the appointment of a new CEO. Moving on to the next question. Name the e-booklet launched by the Information and Broadcasting Ministry on the first year of the Narendra Modi government 2.0, and the options are A. Modi government dealing with the pandemic, B. 1 year of Modi 2.0 towards a self-reliant India, C. Moving towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, D. Modi 2.0 the way forward, or E. Towards a self-reliant India, Modi 2.0. And the correct answer is B. 1 year of Modi 2.0 towards a self-reliant India. The INB ministry released an e-booklet highlighting its achievements during the second term, in which it stated that India was among the few countries to put in a comprehensive action plan to spread the coronavirus. The 92-page booklet states 1 year of Modi 2.0 towards a self-reliant India has been brought out by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. It also states the abrogation of Article 370, settlement of the Ram Temple issue, criminalization of triple talaq, and the Bodo Accord as its highlights. Moving on to the next question. What is India's ranking in the latest startup ecosystem survey by Startup Blink? And the options are A. 15th, B. 22nd, C. 17th, D. 18th, or E. 23. And the correct answer is E. 23. India is the home to the third largest startup ecosystem, but in the latest ranking of the global ecosystems by Startup Blink, India has dropped 6 places to the 23rd spot. The United States has still topped the ranking with the list with a score of 123. The UK, Israel, Canada, and Germany are the top 5 countries in the list respectively. Startup Blink is a global comprehensive startup ecosystem map and research center. India's Silicon Valley, Bangalore, has dropped 3 places to have the 14th rank in the top cities with the best startup ecosystem ranking, while the national capital Delhi climbed 3 spots to the 15th rank. Meanwhile, Mumbai held the 22nd rank, while Hyderabad lost 21 spots to be ranked at 96. Moving on to the next question. The government of which state has launched an online portal skill register to create a database of migrants? And the options are A. Haryana, B. Punjab, C. Himachal Pradesh, D. Kerala, or E. Sikkim. And the correct answer is C. Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh, the state government recently launched an online portal to create a database of migrants who have recently entered the state during the lockdown in the wake of the corona pandemic. Skill Register will provide industries in getting information regarding the manpower which is available. In order to utilize the services of skilled migrants who recently returned to the state, the IT department has created an online portal. Moving on to the next question. SEBI has extended the deadline to implement power of attorney norms which is given by clients to the trading members till which date? And the options are A. 31st September, B. 31st June, C. 1st of August, D. May 30th, or E. 1st of November. And the correct answer is C. That is 1st of August. Market regulator SEBI has extended the date to 1st August 2020, which is the date for implementing norms pertaining to power of attorney which is given by clients to trading members or clearing members. The regulator in February had set specific guidelines with regard to margin obligations to be given by way of pledge and repledge in the depository system. The provisions of the circular were to come in effect from 1st June 2020 in a bid to curb the misuse of power of attorney given by clients to the trading member or the clearing member. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following organization has joined hands with the Atal Innovation Mission to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship in various sectors of the country? And the options are A. IIT Madras, B. HAL, C. CSIR, D. IIT Delhi, or E. DRDO. And the correct answer is C. CSIR, which stands for the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and it has come together with the Atal Innovation Mission to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship in various sectors of the country. In this regard, a letter of intent has been signed between CSIR and Niti Aayog, and these two organizations will work to support world-class startups via incubators under the Atal Innovation Mission. Both organizations will work in tandem to stimulate innovation and research in the micro, small, and medium enterprises in collaboration with the Arise initiative of the Atal Innovation Mission. This initiative works to stimulate innovation and research in the MSME industry. Moving on to the next question. M. Netra, a 13-year-old girl from which state, has been declared as the Goodwill Ambassador for the Poor by the UNADAP? And the options are A. Assam, B. Andhra Pradesh, C. Kerala, D. Madhya Pradesh, and E. Tamil Nadu. And the correct answer is E. Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, a 13-year-old girl named Netra has been appointed the Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations Association for Development and Peace. It was in recognition of her role in feeding the poor during the COVID-19 lockdown by her father, who is a hairdresser by profession. For M. Netra, money amounts to nothing unless it is used for serving the needy. It is this belief that prompted her to make her father, a saloon owner, spend his savings of rupees 5 lakh on the hapless migrant laborers who were hit hard by the coronavirus-induced lockdown. International recognition later came calling the 13-year-old girl as she was appointed as the Goodwill Ambassador for the Poor by the United Nations Association for Development and Peace. Netra's feat came as a double joy for her family as well as her father. The UNADP recognition brings to the girl the opportunity to address the upcoming civil society forums at the United Nations Conference in New York and Geneva. Moving on to the next question. EESL and USTATED have announced the launch of the Healthy and Energy Efficient Building Initiative program under the DASH initiative. And the options are A. Energy Plus, B. E-Convergence, C. E-Care, D. Maitri, and E. Suraksha. And the correct answer is D. Maitri. The Energy Efficiency Service Limited, a joint venture of PSUs under the Ministry of Power in partnership with the US Agency for International Development, USTATED, have launched the Maitri program for healthy and energy efficient buildings, which will pioneer ways to make workplace healthier and greener. The Market Integration and Transformation Program for Energy Efficiency, under which this initiative has been launched, is a part of the US-India bilateral partnership between the Ministry of Power and USTATED and is aimed to accelerate the adoption of cost-effective energy efficiency as a standard practices within buildings and specifically focuses on cooling. Poor air quality has been a concern in India for quite some time and has become more important in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic. As people return to their offices and public spaces, maintaining a good indoor air quality is essential for comfort, well-being, productivity, and overall public health. Moving on to the next question. According to the latest RBI survey, India's GDP may contract by dash percentage in the financial year 2021, and the options are A. 4.5%, B. 3.5%, C. 1.5%, D. 2%, or E. 2.5%. And the correct answer is C, that is 1.5%. A recent survey released by the RBI has shown that the Indian economy may contract by 1.5% in the financial year 2021, though the next fiscal is expected to be much better. The real GDP is likely to contract by 1.5% in the year 2020 and 21, but it is expected to revert to growth terrain next year and is likely to grow by 7.2% as stated by the survey of professional forecasters, which is sponsored by the RBI. It added that the real fixed capital formation is likely to register negative growth of 6.4% in the year 2020 and 21, but it is expected to grow by 5.6% in the next year. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following bank has launched a summer treats campaign with offers for both merchants and salaried as well as self-employed customers? And the options are A. SBI, B. Yes Bank, C. ICICI, D. Bandhan Bank, and E. HDFC. And the correct answer is E. HDFC. With the easing of the lockdown restrictions, private sector HDFC Bank has announced a special summer treats campaign which offers for both merchants as well as salaried and self-employed customers. As a part of the campaign, the bank will offer no cost EMI and no down payment for large appliances, discounts, cashbacks on selected brands as well as 50% extra reward points on online spend using credit cards. Moving on to the next question. The Chief Minister of which state has launched an online portal to manage waste collection and disposal in the state? And the options are A. Madhya Pradesh, B. Kerala, C. Andhra Pradesh, D. Assam, or E. Himachal Pradesh. And the correct answer is C. Andhra Pradesh. The Andhra Pradesh government has launched an online waste management platform on the occasion of World Environmental Day, which is on June 5th. The platform will look after the collection and disposal of liquid waste, air pollutants, and hazardous and non hazardous solid waste in a comprehensive manner. The state government has decided to set up the corporation to resolve the existing insufficiency in managing the waste generated and making the waste management sector more and more organized. The organization has been set up as a government company to handle the industrial waste and will work in close coordination with the Andhra Pradesh Pollution Control Board with a strong regulatory framework to handle the waste from cradle to the grave. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following state has introduced an MOU monitoring mechanism for the efficient implementation of investment proposals through hand-holding interested investors and better tracking of the MOUs signed? And the options are A. Madhya Pradesh, B. Assam, C. Punjab, D. Uttar Pradesh, and E. Himachal Pradesh. And the correct answer is D. Uttar Pradesh. The Uttar Pradesh government has introduced a memorandum of understanding monitoring mechanism in a move which aims at better implementation of investment proposals through hand-holding of interested investors and better tracking of the MOUs signed. A new MOU tracking portal that will be integrated with its single window system is known as Nivesh Mitra. Besides, all the concerned departments will have to assign nodal officers for the implementation of the MOUs, and multi-level review meetings will be held by the MOU department every month. There are two key changes that will be brought with the introduction of this mechanism, which will be that the interested investors will have a dedicated officer to reach out to, and secondly, that the concerned department will have to take ownership, which will help in fixing accountability. Moving on to the next question. NABARD will provide a sum of dash thousand crore to the Assam Gramin Vikash Bank for supporting the agriculture activities of farmers. And the options are A 250 crore, B 350 crore, C 270 crore, D 380 crore, and E 450 crore. And the correct answer is C 270 crore. The National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development has made available a special liquidity facility of rupees 270 crore to the Assam Gramin Vikas Bank for supporting the agriculture activities of the farmers. The bank has provided 25,000 crore nationwide for providing liquidity support to cooperatives, RRBs, and microfinance institutions during 2020 and 21 with a view of ensuring continued credit flow to the farmers to carry out their agriculture operations smoothly even during the times of the pandemic. Moving on to the next question. Who has been appointed as a senior advisor to the executive director of the World Bank? And the options are A. Suresh Shayak, B. Rajiv Topno, C. Harit Seth, D. Lekha Sharma, and E. Ashok Kumar. And the correct answer is B. Rajiv Topo. Senior bureaucrat Rajiv Topo, private secretary to the Prime Minister, has recently been appointed as a senior advisor to the executive director of the World Bank. Besides, there are other recent appointments. Brajendra Navreet, who served in the PMO's office, has been appointed as ambassador and permanent representative of India to the World Trade Organization, Geneva, Switzerland. Moving on to the next question. Name the campaign launched by the Prime Minister on the World Environment Day to continue moving towards energy efficiency, renewable energy, and sustainability, and create a resilient energy system for the future. And the options are A. I Renew, B. I Gov, C. I Energy, D. I Sustain, and E. I Commit. And the correct answer is E. I commit. Shri R.K. Singh, the Minister of State, Independent Charge for Power and New and Renewable Energy, initiated the I Committee campaign on occasion of the World Environment Day. The initiative is to all stakeholders and individuals to continue moving towards energy efficiency and sustainability in the sector. The I Commit initiative, driven by the Energy Efficiency Service Limited, which is under the administration of the Ministry of Power, Government of India, is uniting a diverse set of players like the government, corporates, multilateral, and other organizations with a focus on renewable energy. The I Committee initiative is centered around the idea of building an energy resilient future. Moving on to the next question. Name the program launched by the Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar on the occasion of the World Environment Day. And the options are A. Urban Environment Plan, B. Urban Environment Program, C. Urban Forest Program, D. Urban Forest Package, or E. India's Forest Program. And the correct answer is C. That is Urban Forest Program. Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar launched the Urban Forest Program on the occasion of the World Environment Day, which is the biggest annual event in the world, which is celebrated by the United Nations to mark the awareness of the environment amongst people. The main aim is to raise awareness to protect nature and look at the various environmental issues, while the theme for this year is environment is biodiversity. The Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change stated that despite all the constraints, the country has managed to preserve around 8% of the world's biodiversity through its rich culture of worshipping and nurturing every aspect of Mother Nature. Mr. Javadekar emphasized on the need to promote urban forest Nagar One initiative through active public participation. In the initial phase under the program which has been launched, forests will be deployed in 200 corporations and cities in the country. Moving on to the next question. Which state is implementing the food forest project in tribal belts of the region to provide food security to 192 tribal villages? And the options are A. Kerala, B. Assam, C. Uttar Pradesh, D. Madhya Pradesh, and E. Haryana. And the correct answer is D. Kerala. On this World Environment Day, Kerala's first food forest is being prepared at the tribal belts of the Attappady in the Palakkad district. As a part of the Tribal Comprehensive Development Program in Kerala, the food forest project is being implemented in cooperation with the Mahila Kisan Satikaran Pariyojana of the central government. The project aims to provide security to 192 tribal villages in Attappady. Moving on to the next question. The government of which state has launched the Spandan Campaign to check for suicide and fratricide involving police personnel? The options are A. Assam, B. Andhra Pradesh, C. Kerala, D. Uttar Pradesh, and E. Chhattisgarh. And the correct answer is E. Chhattisgarh. The government of Chhattisgarh launched the Spandan campaign to contain incidents of suicide and fratricide involving police personnel, and instructions have been issued to senior officers to strictly adhere to the guidelines in this regard. Chhattisgarh's DG of Police DM Avasthi has issued an order to all the superintendent of police as well as commandants of armed police forces saying that they should strictly follow the instructions to bring in a curb on suicides and incidents of fratricides. Moving on to the next question. The Reserve Bank of India has announced the creation of a -1,000 crore payment infrastructure development fund to encourage the deployment of point of sale infrastructure, which is both physical and in digital mode in Tier 3 and Tier 6 centers as well as the Northeast. And the options are A. 150 crore, B. 350 crore, C. 500 crore, D. 200 crore, and E. 300 crore. And the correct answer is C. 500 crore. The RBI has announced the creation of a 500 crore Payment Infrastructure Development Fund, which is the PIDF, to encourage the deployment of point of sale infrastructure in both physical as well as in digital mode in Tier 3 to Tier 6 centers as well as in the Northeast. The central bank stated that it will make an initial contribution of 250 crore to the PIDF, covering half of the fund, while the remaining contribution will come from the card issuing banks and card networks which are operating in the country. The PIDF will also receive recurring contributions to cover operational expenses from card issuing banks and card networks. The RBI will also contribute to yearly shortfalls, which is, if necessary, the PIDF will be governed through an advisory council and managed and administered by the RBI. Moving on to the next question. Which company has introduced an upgraded online retail platform, Click to Buy, curated to provide future retail experience to customers in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic? And the options are A. Renault, B. Ford, C. Tata Motors, D. Hyundai, and E. Mahindra. And the correct answer is D. Hyundai. Hyundai Motor India Limited has recently introduced its upgraded online end-to-end automotive retail platform Click to Buy, which is curated to provide future retail experience to customers in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The company, which has launched the platform in March, had invested around 1 billion, that is around 7.5 crore rupees, to develop it into an of customer service from booking cars to test drive as well as financing and delivery at home. Moving on to the next question. The Andhra Pradesh government has provided a total amount of rupees 262.49 crore while providing rupees dash thousand to 2.62 lakh auto and cab drivers in the state. And the options are A 10,000 rupees, A 13,000, B 10,000, C 17,000, D 15,000 and E 18,000. And the correct answer is B, that is 10,000 rupees. Chief Minister YSR announced the transfer of a total amount of rupees 262 crore to around beneficiaries under the YSR Vahana Mitra scheme during a digital conference with the district collectors and the beneficiaries. The scheme was launched on 4th October 2019 with an aim to provide an allowance of 10,000 rupees to auto and taxi drivers to help meet their insurance premium, license fees, as well as other recurring expenses. The annual payment of allowance under the scheme was advanced by 4 months as the auto and taxi drivers had no source of income during the past few months due to the lockdown. Moving on to the next question. Which state or union territory has launched an app to provide salary information to employees in remote and rural areas? And the options are A. Haryana, B. Assam, C. Uttar Pradesh, D. Ladakh, or E. Jammu and Kashmir. And the correct answer is E. Jammu and Kashmir. Lieutenant Governor Girish Chandra Murmu launched the JK Employment Salary Tracker mobile app, also known as Mera Vetan version 1. The newly launched application is aimed to provide salary related information to the employees. With the launch of the Mera Vetan app, the employees, especially posted in the remote and rural areas who do not have access to the DDO, will easily access their salary and other details at any time. Similar applications may be developed for pre and post matric scholarship as well as integrated social security scheme for the social welfare department so that the beneficiaries are able to track the scholarship pension disbursement details. It was informed that the Mera Vetan app has been developed by the NIC JNK on an Android platform to provide end-to-end computerization of the JK basis application. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following bank has partnered with MasterCard and Worldline to launch a soft point of sale and enable smartphones to be used as POS devices? And the options are A. Bandhan Bank, B. Axis Bank, C. Yes Bank, and D. ICICI, and E. HDFC Bank. And the correct answer is B. Axis Bank. MasterCard, Axis Bank, and Worldline have launched a soft point of sale to become the first financial payment services in India to transform everyday smartphones into merchant point of sale terminals. The solution comes with various features for the merchant community. Merchants who have traditionally accepted cash payments now have simpler and more secure ways to manage their transactions. The merchant community can start using soft POS almost instantly as the online registration process with the acquiring bank takes less than 30 minutes. The solution is available as a white label solution to all banks and payment aggregators in the industry and enables face-to-face payments with Bharat QR and NFC payments as well as remote payments for home deliveries via link-based payments. Moving on to the next question. Who has developed a device named SUMERU PACS that help wearers of the personal protective equipment to feel comfortable without sweating? And the options are A. IIT Madras, B. IIT Delhi, C. DRDO, D. The GRSE, and E. HAL. And the correct answer is C. DRDO. The Defense Research Development Organization has developed a device known as SUMERU PACS that helps wearers of personal protective equipment to feel comfortable without sweating. It has been developed as a personal air circulation system which can be used inside the PPE as a small backpack which weighs around 500 grams, which works at an ambient temperature of 39 degrees Celsius to keep the wearer comfortable and cool without sweating. Moving on to the next question. Name the initiative launched by the Union HRD Minister and the Minister of State Housing and Urban Affairs to provide internship opportunities to fresh graduates in all the urban local bodies and smart cities across the country. And the options are A. Smart, B. EduGrow, C. Learn and Grow, D. Tulip, and E. eSkill. And the correct answer is D. Tulip. The Union HRD Minister Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank and the Minister of Trade Independent Charge Shri Hardeep Puri jointly launched a first of its kind initiative, the Urban Learning Inter- internship program, which stands for TULIP, is a program for providing internship opportunities to fresh graduates in all urban local bodies and smart cities across the country. The TULIP program will provide access to internship opportunities through 4,400 urban local bodies and smart city pan India. The TULIP program seeks to provide an opportunity to the youth to generate new ideas to reform the urban local bodies by modern techniques and innovative methods. Similar programs like these in convergence with various ministries can help generate internship opportunities for around 1 crore students in the coming future. TULIP would also help to enhance the value to market of Indian graduates and help create a potential talent pool in diverse fields like urban planning, transport, engineering, environment, municipal finance. Moving on to the next question. Which bank has launched a mobile app based facility to open current accounts for self employed individuals and businesses digitally and within a few hours? And the options are A. Bandhan Bank, B. Yes Bank, C. ICICI, D. HDFC, and E. IndusInd Bank. And the correct answer is E. IndusInd Bank. Gurgaon-based IndusInd Bank recently announced that it has launched a first-of-its-kind assisted mobile application-based facility which enables the bank to open current accounts for self-employed individuals and businesses within a few hours. The facility works in a way where the banks can now capture and verify information about customers and their businesses in real time when the Indus corporate mobile app. Moving on to the next question. The government has launched an electronics manufacturing scheme 2.0 with an outlay of 1,000 crore to promote production, not just for the domestic market but also for exports. And the options are A 45,000 crore, B 50,000 crore, C 60,000 crore, D 75,000 crore, and E 25,000 crore. And the correct answer is B. 50,000 crore. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology launched the Electronics Scheme 2.0, which includes three schemes and has a combined outlay of 50,000 crore to promote production not just for the domestic market but also for exports. Moving on to the next question. The Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has recently revised the public procurement in order to encourage Make in India. It has prescribed a minimum of dash percentage in the year 2020 and 21 for local chemicals and petrochemical contents in public procurement. And the options are A 40%, B 55%, C 50%, D 45%, and E 60%. And the correct answer is C. And the correct answer is E, that is 60%. The Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has recently revised the public procurement order to encourage Make in India initiative with an aim to enhance income and employment generation in the country. It has prescribed a minimum of 60% in the year 2020 and 21 for local chemicals and petrochemical contents in public procurement. Moving on to the next question. Which bank has created a separate business vertical for inclusion and micro markets in semi-urban and rural areas? And the options are A. Bandhan Bank, B. ICICI, C. SBI, D. Axis Bank, and E. UCO Bank. And the correct answer is C. SBI. In a major restructuring exercise, the SBI has created a separate business vertical to focus on financial inclusion and micro markets in semi-urban and rural areas. Under this, the bank will offer loans predominantly for agriculture and allied activities as well as cater to the concerns of the MSMEs. Moving on to the next question. Name the government scheme launched by the central government to provide for jobs to the returning Indians from abroad. And the options are A. SkillGov, B. Swadesh, C. Samarth, D. Sakshar, and E. Skilled. And the correct answer is B. Swadesh. The government has launched a new initiative, Swadesh, which stands for Skilled Workers Arrival Database for Employment Support, to conduct a skill mapping exercise and provide employment opportunities to the returning citizens under the Vande Bharat mission. This is a joint initiative of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, the Ministry of Skill Innovation, and the Ministry of External Affairs, which aims to create a database of qualified citizens. Sorry, I think some of the questions which have been repeated, nonetheless, you'll have an opportunity to revise in the same lecture. So I'm sorry for this. So the free internet project of which of the following state is all set to be commissioned in December? In which of the following states? And the options are A. Uttar Pradesh, B. Assam, C. Kerala, D. Tamil Nadu, and E. Madhya Pradesh. And the correct answer is C. Kerala. The Kerala government has announced its ambitious Kerala fiber optic network project envisaged to provide free internet access to the poor, and it will be rolled out in the month of December. And this makes Kerala the first state to declare internet as a fundamental right for the citizens, and it seeks to provide quality internet at free of cost to the poor. Moving on to the next question. Which port trust was renamed as the Sama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust and has been recently been approved by the Union Cabinet? And the options are A. Vishakhapatnam Port Trust, B. Kochi Port Trust, C. Kolkata Port Trust, D. Chennai Port Trust, and E. Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. And the correct answer is C. That is the Kolkata Port Trust. The Union Cabinet has given it nod to rename the Kolkata Port Trust as the Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust on the lines of the announcement made by PM Modi on January 11, 2020, which marks the 150th anniversary celebrations of the Port Trust. The Board of Trustees also passed a resolution for the same on renaming the port in a meeting held on February 25, 2020. Moving on to the next question. Recently, former Miss World Manushi Chillar joined the global initiative of the Red Dot Challenge campaign. Which of the following organization has launched this campaign? And the options are A. UNIDO, B. IMF, C. UNICEF, D. UNESCO, and E. FAO. And the correct answer is C. UNICEF. On 20th May 2020, that is the Menstrual Hygiene Day, a 20-year-old Miss World Manushi Chillar collaborated in the global initiative of the United Nations Children Fund's UNICEF's, that is the Red Dot Challenge, to create awareness and educate children about menstrual hygiene and the construction of sanitation facilities as well as access to hygiene products. So that's it for today. Thank you and happy learning.